I was like, whoa, wait a minute. That's what albums are? I didn't know what an album was until I was 18.
Bro, what the fuck what did you just say?
I did not know what albums were. At least I didn't understand the concept of them until I was 18 years old. And man, when I tell you, so much was open to me after that point. It was crazy. But first, let me give you a little background. For the majority of my entire life, all the music I would listen to through YouTube, and I assumed that YouTube pretty much had every song. I never knew any different because, mind you, I never bought CDs. And also, again, YouTube had all the songs I would listen to, so I didn't really I wasn't like, like, oh, I need to go find a CD so I can listen to this song. Like, I never had to go like that because anytime it was a song I wanted to hear, I was able to YouTube it and find it. That being said, though, there was a point in my life when I was like 5 and below when I used to play songs from CDs from other people in my family on the radio. I actually remember vividly playing like a 50 Cent CD and listening to the song. Actually, like the whole, I would say, I don't want to even say album because I think the CD was just songs that they ripped from the internet and were just a bunch of 50 Cent songs. But in any case, I remember vividly listening to a bunch of 50 Cent songs on the CD, and it was cool, and those were good times. But I never really thought about albums. That never really even crossed my mind. I probably heard the word, but I probably thought albums meant just a collection of music, but not like from the same person, like a playlist or some shit. But I never really had any reason to look into it because, again, all the music I listened to was just individual songs. And if, it happened to be the same artist, and it happened to be the same picture, I just was like, oh, okay, that's just all is like, that's what that artist decided to use. I never thought, oh, you know, they released a collection of songs under something called an album. I never thought about that. Fast forward to me being 18. I'm in this little program. It's like a music program. I was in the rap division of it, and it was in Seattle. Pretty good program, got a bunch of youths around to basically make music and then they'll be able to perform it. There was some downtime in that program, and I remember the kids, we were all talking to one another or whatever, and I just remember overhearing a conversation, or not overhearing it. It was conversation technically I was in, but they were talking about albums and songs and whatnot. And then like, oh, but Kendrick had this best album, all that kind of shit, and this person had the best album, and that person had the best album. I'm like, and I'm just hearing it, and I'm listening. I'm like, okay, yeah, I mean, Kendrick does make good music. I don't remember exactly, who they were saying they were better than, but I just know they were saying somebody was something or whatever. But then somebody had pulled up on the computer Kendrick's album, and I was intrigued. So they start playing a song for me, and then it went to another song under that same picture, and it was like on a different like thing than YouTube. It was like probably like Apple Music or some shit. I don't know, but whatever the case is, I seen this shit and was able to connect the dots. Like, wait a minute, are albums fucking like collections of music from one artist that they released like at the same time? It was like a bunch of songs, like whatever the fuck. So the concept of albums was clicking for me. I was understanding it at that moment. It was coming to me. It was like like it was crazy. Like something had just been unlocked in my mind. I was like,
Oh my god. I get it.
I didn't tell nobody that in that class though, but I know I spoke to people in my house about it. I didn't really explain it in full depth because I guess I kind of felt stupid to not know what they were, which I mean, in a sense, is kind of dumb, maybe. Yeah, but I just kind of said, "Oh, I just learned what albums were," and they probably thought I was joking. But yeah, I really didn't know what albums were, and when I had finally learned, man, it was awesome. But the thing is, that's when I realized YouTube doesn't have everything, and I was fucking shocked. So, eventually then, YouTube Music I think came out soon after, or I had just got it, whatever the case. I think it was new though. And that's when I started to actually be able to hear albums and shit. So I still listen to music on YouTube pretty much exclusively. But now I know that there are albums, and so there are so many songs, even to this day, that I have not heard from classic, historical, groundbreaking albums. I probably have heard one or two songs from them, but I never heard the whole thing, which is what I've been hearing from a lot of people is what a lot of people do. They listen to the entire albums, which I just recently started doing that because I just recently figured out what the fuck albums are, you know? Which again, it's like it's good on one hand because I get to experience all these things as an adult. I won't be clouded by nostalgia when people ask about, how good was X album or whatever the fuck, like Thriller, right? I heard most of the songs from Thriller, but there are a few songs from Thriller that I had never heard at that point. I had never heard. Even sometimes I was like recently finding like when I was 20. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they're still good. And that's not me like being like a nostalgia person saying, "Oh, it's good because of nostalgic reasons." No, I genuinely heard it as an adult and liked it. It was actually a good song. I actually was like, I want to hear more of this.
All right, I get it!
Anyways, though, everybody, namaste and peace.